We just finished watching AEW Grand Slam 2026, and this was a pretty good show. Obviously, this isn't a pay-per-view, so it can't be held to those kind of standards that AEW has, but for a Collision episode, this was one of the better Collisions, obviously, we'll see throughout the entire year.
Yeah, with the amount of names that we see on this card, it definitely feels of a pay-per-view-esque show, and I think that's kind of how they portrayed it as, but it's technically just an AEW Collision show, so I can imagine that when the viewers come out for this show, that'll be very high.
Yeah, and we started this one off with two huge stars, of course, in AEW, and that's Jon Moxley versus Konosuke Takeshita for the AEW Continental Championship. Now, unfortunately, this one would end in a time limit draw, so we would not get an actual finish to this match, but the match was decent. You liked it more than I did myself, so I'll let you kind of maybe talk about the match a little more.
Yeah, for me, it's basically just the style that Jon Moxley wrestled here tonight. I love where he's just a little more gritty. He tries to, with Takeshita just being a lot more powerful than Moxley, he still has that power to kind of match him. He kind of does a little bit more cheaper moves, kind of some eye pokes here and there. But yeah, the style of Moxley just goes throughout the entire match, and the ending of the match, where the time's getting lower and lower, thinking people kind of got to get their moves in before the match is over, and unfortunately both men can't get it done. But in that last 10 seconds, you see him kind of start trading big blows to catch with a big knee to the back of the head. He tries to pick him up for the Blue Thunder Bomb, but unfortunately time runs out. And yeah, I love the match, and yeah, it's probably one of my favorite matches of the year at this point.
Yeah, this was, honestly, I feel the complete opposite. I did not enjoy this match. My second to least favorite match on this card, I just didn't really enjoy it. Like, when the time was getting low, it did kind of pick up, and they were starting to pick things up, and it was interesting, but they just didn't really just kind of bring that, like, emotion out of me where I really felt like something big was going to happen, such as, like, a big title change on this night. Obviously, there was a lot of other things that were going on during this night, so I didn't really expect that to happen, and I just didn't buy into the match, I guess, is the big problem with it for me. But yeah, it was a decent match though, definitely not a bad one. But our second one is a match that I did enjoy a little bit more, and that is the Babes of Wrath defeating Mega Bad, Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. We also get a cool little interference at the end of the match that we'll get into, but the Babes of Wrath do pick up the win. A pretty dominant win for them. Harley Cameron kind of got stuck in the ring for a while. They took out Willow Nightingale, and they were kind of just beating down Harley Cameron for quite a while, and she gets the big hot tag on Willow. She kind of evens the odds out and picks up the win eventually. But yeah, really good match here.
Yeah, for me, this is like the first match from Harley and Willow Nightingale where I feel like the chemistry is like finally there. You can actually see them kind of play off of that a lot more in their match. And yeah, this is probably one of my favorite defenses from them so far. Unfortunately, I did want Megan and Penelope to get the win here, but I can only imagine this means Megan Bayne will probably go into bigger things. Probably going to be the TBS champion, even though I would like her to be in that world champion match. But I guess with kind of the story that we see here, that she will kind of go after Willow for that TBS champion now.
Does look like that will be possible for Megan Bayne to enter that singles division, because at the end of this match, as Willow and Harley are celebrating, we see the kind of second debut of Lena Kross. She comes in and kind of acts friendly, I guess, for a split second, but then attacks Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron. Megan Bayne comes in and they kind of finish the job off, and then they embrace each other at the end, basically letting her join Mega Bad. So brand new person to join in the group. I do believe they'll probably team her up with Penelope Ford to let Megan Bayne go in the singles division, because I do think her chasing that world title or even the TBS title, as you mentioned, is probably the best direction for them to go.
Yeah, I think for me, something I think that could be cool for the Trios Champions at a title that I don't think is very looked fond upon right now, is to make it maybe an intergender Trios belt where we have two women, maybe a one man, because I think right now we have a lot of Trios kind of factions in the women's division. You have this team of Harley, Willow, Chris, you have obviously Triangle, the Sisters of Madness, and yeah, there's a lot of kind of teams you can do. I think that would be like something that could be a little bit refreshing. You can do like the rare, intergender match like I was mentioned, but yeah, overall I do think the Lena Kross edition is going to be cool to see how they play out for her and how much they'll actually use her, and where will Megan Bayne go on after this.
Yeah, especially like your point about the Trios title, because right now we have another person who has the Trios title, but yet is going after the world title, just like we had with Joe, and a whole lot of times previous to that as well. The Trios titles never get love, so yeah, we'll just ignore them just like AEW does for now. But Hangman Adam Page and Andrade was the next match, and the winner would receive a world title match at Revolution. So this was a very important match for either person to win. Andrade was on a hell of a run, definitely somebody who I was behind for this match, and Hangman Adam Page, he had a built-in story, but he didn't really have like a run that built him to this moment. But yeah, this was another very good match. One thing I'm gonna point out, as I always do, that spinning back elbow from Andrade is always just one of the best moves in the world. I just love the way it sounds when he hits. I love the way it looks when he does it, the way his opponents sell it whenever they get hit with it. Everything about that move is amazing. We also seen him do the kind of spot where he goes ringside to go take a picture with the female, and then, you know, Hangman Adam Page goes and he kind of did the same thing after kind of taking him out after. So pretty cool little moment there. But yeah, this was a really good match. Hangman Adam Page does pick up the win. Unfortunately, I was rooting for Andrade, but really good match.
Yeah, I am a little bit upset that Andrade couldn't capitalize on momentum. I feel like there's a better story to do. I feel like you could wait to do Hangman and MJF at a future show, maybe at Double or Nothing. I think that's a big one. But I do think that this is probably the right call. It's a safer choice. But yeah, I do think that Andrade kind of should have still won here. I'm interested in where he does fall now. Is he still kind of in the picture waiting to get a future title shot eventually? Or are we going to see him kind of fall back down? Is he going to go after the Continental Champion at Moxley? Or is he going to go after a different title? So yeah, unfortunately, Andrade couldn't kind of get that big moment. But Heyman being back in it isn't a bad thing either for me.
Yeah, I think it would have been kind of poetic, you know, considering MJF just came off this long streak of kind of defeating a whole bunch of luchadors and things of that nature in CMLL. He went and defended his title in CMLL as well. So I kind of would have been a little bit poetic if Andrade was the one to kind of get that match and potentially take him out. Obviously, that's kind of on the slim chance of happening, but just him having the match would have just been a big moment considering all the kind of luchadors he took out previous to this match. But yeah, pretty good match from the pairing here. But in our next match, we have probably one of the most hyped matches of the night as far as anticipation of what's going to happen in it. And that is Orange Cassidy and Timeless Tony Storm defeating the Death Riders Wheeler Yuta and Marina Shafir in a hair versus hair tornado mixed tag match. And this was a very good match. Started off very hot as Marina Shafir and Wheeler Yuta is making their entrance. They get attacked before they can even get to the ring. But very quickly we see Tony Storm taken out of the match for probably 5 to 8 minutes, somewhere around that range, after a pile driver on the like electric boxes from Wheeler Yuta to Tony Storm. Pretty brutal spot, kind of got me. I was like, oh my god, I thought she was gonna like kick out of it or flip him out of it, make him go on the box. But no, she definitely hit her with that pile driver. Pretty brutal pile driver, but yeah, hot start to this match for sure.
Yeah, this match definitely kind of served its purpose of being like this big energy kind of match of the night, and yeah, the crowd was definitely into it. Eventually we see Tony come back out. She kind of evens the odds, and then we kind of get this big moment of everybody's kind of trading blows with each other, but eventually we do see Tony Storm get the win, get the pin over Wheeler Yuta as well, getting her revenge on him. So yeah, very nice moment, and yeah, we see Wheeler Yuta get that head shave finally.
Pretty cool that they let Mina Shirakawa be the one to kind of come out and start cutting his hair because of all the shit that she had to deal with leading up to this, all the losses that she took from dealing with Marina Shafir and the Death Riders and all that. So it's pretty cool that she kind of got that moment in ring to kind of have that celebration. Obviously doesn't pay off all the stuff that happened to her. She kind of could probably use a win over Marina Shafir in the coming weeks, but I'm happy that she did have that moment with him. I kind of wish they did let Moxley cut his hair a little bit. I think that would have been kind of like a little funny moment to pop the crowd and everything, but I see why, you know, you might not want the heel to kind of do that kind of stuff. But yeah, really good stuff here. Obviously love everyone in this match. Really good stuff from everyone. Wheeler Yuta is probably the best heat magnet in professional wrestling potentially, but in my opinion the best match of the night, going to Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe in a ladder match for the AEW TNT Championship. Now this was a match that I was a little down on going into because there have been a ton of repeat matches in AEW over the past 3 to 4 months, and this was one of the ones that was repeated 7 times. And you know, a lot of times you can make it, you know, work really well, but this was one I kind of was shitting on going into it, but Kyle Fletcher shut me up as he pretty much always does, because this was a banger match. Him and Mark Briscoe absolutely killed it. One of the best matches of the entire year, in my opinion, came from this ladder match.
Yeah, I'm definitely in agreement there. Kyle Fletcher again proving why he is just the next guy up in the professional wrestling world. And yeah, so many crazy spots in this match. We see Mark Briscoe get lawn darted into the ladder. Then we see him get suplexed on the apron, but his legs kind of like hit off the ropes and kind of land on his side in his back. So that was a nasty bump. But then obviously the big spot I think everybody will be talking about at the end of this match is going to be the finish where Fletcher gets him up for a brainbuster off the top of the ladder. And yeah, that would end up setting up one more last moment where Mark would kind of go up for that champion, but he would get pushed off and kind of eat the ropes, but Fletcher allowing Fletcher to get get the belt. And yeah, really cool match, really good moment for Fletcher. I just hope this is the final match between these guys. Obviously 7 matches now. We've seen pretty much everything we can see from these men, and so yeah, I hope we go our separate ways now, and I think it's a great way to kind of finish out the series.
And at the end of the match, we also seen Kyle Fletcher get his personal pink TNT title belt finally, so a very cool moment there. He is one of the better wrestlers in AEW, considering Will Ospreay's out right now. He might be the best wrestler in AEW, even with Kenny Omega being there and even with Swerve Strickland being there, so that's very high praise, but I do think he kind of can hold that crown at least while Will Ospreay is out for the foreseeable future. But yeah, very good match from these two. A lot of blood going into this match, very hard hitting. Obviously with a Mark Briscoe match, you'd expect nothing less. But yeah, very good match, very happy with it. And Kyle Fletcher is definitely one of the wrestlers who's rising on the list and might be top 3 best in the world at this point. And for the main event of the night, we have MJF versus Brody King for the AEW World Championship. In this match, I would say it was maybe a little bit disappointing. I had a lot of expectations going into this. I did expect this to be a match of the year contender. It definitely didn't really meet that for me. I think there was matches on this card that was better than it, and much less matches other places that are better as well. But it was still a really good match. The last 5 to 6 minutes of the match, it really picked up things. The crowd was really behind this match. That definitely helped the match, and definitely there wasn't a point in the match where I was like sleeping on it or anything like that. Like, it definitely kept my attention at the very least. But it definitely was boring at certain parts of the beginning. But once they picked up the pace and they started to kind of get towards the finish, that's when it really kind of woke me up, and I was really starting to pay attention to the match at that point.
Yeah, it definitely had its moments throughout the entire match to kind of get you, kind of keep it going throughout the entire night. But yeah, I do think that obviously the finish is going to be a really strong finish from MJF. Hits the kind of a tombstone like move on the apron, gets the salt of the earth for the win. But yeah, definitely kind of an unfortunate finish for Brody King. Obviously I didn't expect him to win the match, but it would have been nice to kind of have a surprise moment like that, or kind of a different finish where I think you kind of still have Brody King looking a little bit stronger. But obviously the match they did have, there's a lot of moves that kind of took him out, so it makes sense why he was at that point in the match. So yeah, really good match overall. Definitely expected a little bit better, but obviously like I said, the result does make sense.
And we got some loud "fuck ice" chants from the crowd, of course, during this match. Brody King definitely felt like a star during this match, like more so than ever before as far as like crowd interactions during this match. They were doing the barking, they were doing the "fuck ice" chants, and they were just chanting his name. A whole lot of chants for Brody King during this match. Obviously, MJF is gonna get booed out of the building because he's MJF, the scum of the earth. But yeah, he is. MJF is one of the better wrestlers in the world as well. I love his match. He does have a way of, even if maybe the match isn't going the best in-ring ways, there's ways where he can kind of at least entertain you throughout the match and kind of make you laugh or kind of piss you off or bring out whatever emotion he's trying to bring out of you. He's really good at doing that kind of stuff in-ring. But he does pick up the win, as you mentioned, with a big heat seeker to kind of finish it off. We do see Hangman Adam Page come out after that. He kind of has his contract or whatever. He signs it, throws it down, acts like he's gonna punch MJF. He falls to the ground and kind of fear of Hangman Adam Page, which I don't know how much I like that, but whatever. But yeah, it is official. We will get MJF versus Hangman Adam Page at Revolution. I do wish it was Andrade because, you know, he did just lose the title to Samoa Joe, but it is what it is. We are getting Hangman Adam Page versus MJF, and that will likely be a banger match.
The night overall was a very good one, and yeah, a lot of great matches. I think overall the crowd was amazing throughout the entire night. The Moxie match for me was definitely a standout one. Obviously, when we've seen any Aussie people on the show, the crowd was hyped for them, especially when Harley got that big win over Penelope, as well as Kyle Fletcher pulling down the belt. So yeah, overall a great night here in Australia. Hopefully we do come back a little bit more often, or see other countries get a little bit more visits throughout the year from AEW. But yeah, great show here from AEW.
Yeah, definitely a great crowd there in Australia. Hopefully they can keep it up and, like you mentioned, do more shows there in the future. But we appreciate you guys for watching. Leave a like and subscribe. It will catch you guys in the next one.